Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank12, however you're gonna call me, I don't really care. And we are actually live on the test server 9.22. The test server has been released, and we can go check out the new additions that are coming to 9.22 to the live server on Wolf Tanks. And obviously, what is very interesting is going to be the Russian lines, the Russian tanks that will definitely make or have a big impact. And what you can see right here is this is an older save file of your account, so you will not have the tanks that are currently in your garage in this if you have just unlocked a tank a few days ago. Like, for example, I'm already at the object 430. I'm almost at the object 430 over here, but since the test server hasn't been updated, or at least my profile hasn't been updated on this test server, I'm still on the old one. And yeah, this is the first time we're looking at the new tier 10 tanks in the game, and you can see there's the object 268 4. We can preview this vehicle real fast, and it looks pretty damn neat. But obviously, as always, I will cover all the tier 10s that will come into the game, the object 705A, the object 268-4, and the object 430U separately in different videos, and I will probably look at the new additional tier 9 tanks that will hit the Russian server in 9.22. So this is just a little update video to show you guys what we will be looking at. We will pretty much have a short overview if there are any other tanks or any other changes, but I think the main changes will definitely be happening within the Russian branch. So yeah, we do own the IS, so I would say let's go straight ahead, 3 XP our way through the object 263, which is now the tier 9 tank destroyer. I hope I can still get this tank before the patch comes out, because it would be a shame if I wouldn't be able to get that one. We're going to purchase this tank without a crew. We're going to do that eventually later on. Then the object 430. Now this is going to be a tier 9 tank, and I'm going to be really interested in seeing what kind of changes Wargaming will come up with this tank, because at the current elo, or at least the current level it is at tier 10, it's really powerful. People don't like, or people don't really go for the tank, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad vehicle. It still does sport a 100mm gun. It's fairly competitive in that regard, and obviously we're going to be covering the ISM closer, because this is going to be a very interesting tank. The very first heavy tank of the Russian branch with a back-faced turret. That is obviously going to be very interesting. So we will take out one of the tanks. I think definitely what will be the most interesting tank right now is going to be the object 705. So that is exactly the reason we're going to be taking out this tank. And we're going to be playing one game or two games, because Wargaming have said that they have overworked the matchmaking system, at least for, I think, tier 10s now don't get the same battle over and over again, but we'll see how that will turn out at tier 8. That's going to be very interesting as well. So we're going to go take the Russians, and then we're just going to go for the heavy tanks, because we're only interested in heavy tanks right now. And we are going to take a look at this bad boy right here. So, this is going to be not going to be a tank here, what to expect video. It's just going to be a little bit of an overview what this tank all looks like, and maybe a little bit a closer look at the statistics. It looks really cool. As already mentioned before in another video, I said it looks like a mixture of an IS-7 and an IS-4 turret, but like a hell of a lot bigger. And then you have like on the back 2 30 mils, I think so. It looks really cool. Cool tank design. Back turret. What's definitely interesting is gun depression 5 degrees. Well, certainly didn't expect something better right there. So this is the new object 257, which is going to replace the T10, or which is the replacement for the T10 right now. And what you can see right here is that you're running with a stock turret at the beginning, and then you get like a turret that's very similar. That's the Object 257 turret, and it has a 350 millimeters of frontal armor, but it does have those cupolas on top. So we're gonna fully upgrade this tank real fast, just to take a look at what it's like. And I really don't like the design of the hull already, because it is like the T22 design, the pike nose design of the IS-7. But at least the IS-7 does have like a flat part right down here, while this tank only has like a really awkward kind of hull shape. Let's take a look at the hull. 130 millimeters of frontal hull armor. That's 150 over here, but it's very nicely angled. So once you get those cheeks, you'll be easily able to penetrate those cheeks, I guess, at tier 9 and tier 10, even at tier 8. But like once you have it up front, it's going to be a whole nother story. Yeah, that's pretty damn disgusting. So we're just gonna take my IS-3 crew, retrain it to the Object 705A, because that's definitely the tank that we want to see today. And we're gonna be jumping into 2 matches, and we're going to be looking at the changes that Wargaming have made to the what do you call it again? I just forgot. To the matchmaking, because I think that is very interesting. So once again, I just uploaded a video that I actually wanted to upload yesterday. Unfortunately, I had some issues with the sound. YouTube did get quite annoying there, so I had to re-upload it today. The video actually today, when I say today, it's Friday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be uploading this today, but we'll see. And I will, obviously, I think I will talk about some other stuff afterwards as well. We're going to put in some equipment, because I think this is going to be the thing that is realistically on this vehicle, because it will surprise you. This tank does have, let's put vertical stabilizer on this. This tank does have a 152mm gun that usually ends up on tank destroyers. Very, very interesting. And we're going to be checking this bad boy out right now. We're just going to put on some camouflage, and perfect. Let's jump right into a battle. And since it's a test server, as always, keep in mind that, first of all, there are going to be a lot of these tanks running around the map. Actually, not that many this time around, but yeah, people on the test server play a bit radical, and that is putting it mildly, because people on the test server are absolutely crazy. They do stuff that no one would do in the live server. And since we're playing with Russians as well, I know the Russians, they are crazy in their own regard. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. So from the size of the tank, if we compare it to other vehicles right now in game, it's nothing too huge. It's the same size, or maybe, okay, it's bigger, at least from length, than the AMX 50B, but it does have this low kind of silhouette, which is pretty damn neat. And you can see the reload time, 15.27 seconds. You're probably not going to be a DPM monster with this tank, since, well, it is sporting such a big gun. I'm very interested in what kind of gun the tier 9 actually has. And what I really find cool about this tank right now is that it does sport 360 degrees of turret rotation. That is, in my opinion, definitely not a given fact, or just a given attribute, because I have played the Russian medium tanks with the back-facing turret, and they are absolutely, oh god, it's not very clever. I'm sorry if I may be playing a little bit of a reckless game, but I just want to test out this vehicle. I want to get to the front line, and I didn't want to cross out through the open like that to avoid exactly that shot happening. But yeah, somehow didn't really work out as I intended it to. And now we can actually side script. Now I got very lucky there. That object 705 bounced. So the 152mm gun only has a... This gun only has 256mm of penetration, which does seem to be lacking somehow for a caliber or a gun of this size, of this caliber. But what we're going to be trying out right now is to side scrape our way into this mess. The aim time doesn't seem to be too bad, but as always, as I mentioned previously, we will be taking a closer look. Thank you very much, IS4. We'll be taking a closer look. Now I'm dead. At this tank in a preview video. So that wasn't very successful. What we could see here though is that this is a only tier 10 match, and I think I'm just gonna go skip ahead because we don't really need to see this result. It's just a test server game. It doesn't really matter that much. It looks like my team will be able to win this match though, and I'll see you guys in the garage. Tank made it out of the battle, and as you can see, it was a victory. Oh, and we're in a grand battle. Klondike. Very interesting. They said that no game that you play will be like the game that you've previously played, and up until now, they have kept their promise. It's not a standard battle this time around. It is Klondike Grand Battle, and what you can see, obviously, people are interested in testing out the Object 705A. There are a certain amount of tanks on the enemy team with that kind of gun, and the same goes for our team. So it's going to be... Your chances are very high that you'll be facing this tank in combat if you're playing the World of Tanks test server. I highly do recommend for you guys to test out the test server for yourself. It is for free, obviously, and you can try out all the vehicles in the game by just, free experiencing your way to that vehicle. And if you want to try it out and see what it's all about, you can do that perfectly. This is the perfect environment to do that because it allows you to, go to certain tanks that maybe you didn't have the time for. So what do we see right here? This tank doesn't seem to be that slow. Almost 40 kilometers. As Wargaming have mentioned, this tank is not going to be as fast as the IS-7, but it's certainly not as slow as a E100. So that is very nice. But what I notice right here is the tractors is nothing to be smitten with. Definitely doesn't look to be that amazing. So this video actually is just a little heads up, a little overview in certain regards. No tank preview or whatsoever. It's just a little preview of things that will come our way. And this is the first patch of the year, and you can see that Wargaming are very active. I'd say we cannot say that they're an inactive company. Their patch and their patch policy is pretty damn impressive in my opinion. Since the last patch isn't even that long ago, maybe a month. December patch 9.21, which has changed the British tank destroyer line a bit and added a new tank destroyer for them. So let's see what this tank is all about, since now we are going to be having the upper hand with this back placed turret there. What I've noticed that people can actually shoot the turret of this tank, but well, you can do a lot of things. The question is if you're going to be able to pen it. The premium ammo on this 310mm of pen with heat. It's nothing that crazy, nothing crazy to write home about. I mean, it is a tier 10 heavy tank. It really phases me that the pen on this gun is... We're gonna get out of here. You can see the upper plate is just crazy. This 113 looks really interesting, like a brown tank. There we go, we penetrate his side armor right there below the turret. Because he was side scraping, but he was like over angling his tank. That allowed us to go through him. And now we're gonna be in a tough spot because we're gonna be the main target right here. We bounce the first shot, we don't bounce the second. I'm gonna get my driver back up. We bounce the third shot off our lower plate. We're gonna angle it. Oh, goddammit. We don't bounce the fourth, and that one actually does go right through our lower plate. And you can see it is a very fairly sturdy lower plate, to be honest. But even that lower plate is not going to be withstanding shots of that kind of caliber. Now, I do apologize for the lack of effort in this kind of game. Maybe was a little bit too aggressive. That spot over there might have been better for me, but I really wanted to support these guys out here. And I just wanted to test out the armor capacity of this tank if it is out in the open. And what I can say so far, it looks pretty damn interesting. So keep your eyes open and keep yourself ready for the preview of this tank. Actually, just be ready for all the previews. I'm going to be covering quite a few tanks in the next coming few days. So this is a very interesting tank. Why do I keep on looking at the Object 257? Is it because it's in my garage? Well, first yes, it is in my garage, and I want to show you guys why I think this tank is going to be very interesting. If you look at the shape of the hull, it does remind you of the the T-22, the Soviet reward tank that you could get for like one of the game modes back in the days. That was then replaced because people were cheating their way into getting the T-22. It was an incredibly powerful tank. It's still out there, but people used their ways by chatting with the enemy team and just farming that damage, especially in the North American server, because people weren't playing that game mode, so they kind of queued up together and they received the T-22 by doing those missions that were really, really difficult. And this tank reminds me of that vehicle. This time around, though, this is a tank that you can freely unlock in the game by playing the IS-3. And what's very interesting about this tank is that its hull is shaped like the T-22. And why is that interesting? Because if you look at the design of this tank, it's this V-shaped hull down here, which goes through the entire length of this tank. Up down here and up here. And then you have the space armor on the rear. We can actually jump right into a match. I'm just gonna go get some kind of crew. It doesn't matter. Because this is just going to be a little showcase of what this tank will be able to do. I hope I can do it because I've never driven a T-22. I've just seen it do certain things, and you guys will see what I mean in a second right here. This is going to be the last game for this video. Afterwards, I will start making the preview videos on these tanks. I'll start playing these tanks. To get a little bit of a feel on what it's all about, and then I'll get them back to you guys. Because obviously that's going to be very interesting. And you'll notice you'll see what I mean any second now. So we're gonna be playing Muravanka, and it's nice to see that there are only Object 257s and Object 705s, and I will show you guys right here what you can do with this tank in a certain position. I have to check where I can go to do that exactly, but because once we get kind of overrun, it might not work as well anymore. Because it does require some kind of management, and you'll just see. What I find very interesting about this tank is that it does roll with standard APCR ammunition, and it does look like it's the same gun as the... I'm not even sure, what kind of gun is this? Is this the gun that the Object 260 has, like the Object 260? the reward tank that you can actually unlock by playing the game. It does have APCR, so that does sound pretty damn crazy. It's not the same gun as the STI or the IS-4S, and as premium ammo it has the 122mm high explosive anti-tank BP 471 BM with 340mm of penetration, which is better than the tier 10 that we just played previously. So yeah, this patch will provide this game with more content. It's not a patch that will rework the engines or all that kind of stuff. That will follow later on in March with patch 1.0. This time around they're trying to give us some more content for the people who have played this tank, or who have played World of Tanks in the last few months, and you know, just want to get more of the game when they already have like all the vehicles. Can totally understand it. So what we can do right here is, I'm gonna try it. You don't want to peek with this pike nose. I hope that this object, is he going to start shooting me? Because this is a Russian server, don't you? Oh, this is really difficult when they're like this. You're not gonna be able to bounce as many shots. Oh no, he drove right into me. Sorry, mate. Sorry. And now we're gonna try something very stupid. Yeah, this is not gonna work out as I intended because of the shape of the hull. What you can do in this tank is, yeah, we're gonna get roasted right here. What you can see right here is that the V shape, that's why I bounced this tank. If you shoot below the tracks, you'll shoot into an angled part of the armor. So you have to shoot at the spaced armor on the side, and this tank does seem to be pretty impressive. But what you can do with this tank is you can actually drive backwards, have your side armor like poking out, and pretty much side scrape backwards, because they can only shoot, like if you do it like this at this angle, they will be able to shoot your side armor. Because it's a V shape, it's going to bounce all of these rounds, and it's going to auto bounce all the shells on the side of the tank, because it's just so crazily over angled. But at the same time, you have to be careful about these cheeks right here, because once you do that, these cheeks will get overmatched, because it's the rear armor and it's no longer the V shape that you have on this tank. So it's very interesting. It's one of the things that I will definitely try to do in the preview video, and I wanna see how it will turn out. And yeah, it's a test server. I guess we're gonna leave that for now. And I hope you guys did get a little bit of an overview of what is going to be coming our way. And as always, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, comment, like, subscribe as always, and I have some more content ready for you guys in a few days. Peace out.